Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. If you're on live with us, be sure to pop in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, because we're on StreamYard, we can't see you, so we have no idea you're there unless you say something.
Right.
But whether you're listening to the replay or you're live with us, welcome. We are going to talk about planning because we love planning. I have always loved planning, get me a new planner, all those things. But I think that the topic we're going to talk about is actually we often spend a lot of time focused on creating a plan at the beginning of something, whether it's
Yeah.
a new goal, a new year, a new project. Um, we invest a ton of time um, making that initial plan. And then we get into moving forward, and at least I found like I always felt like I know what I need to do. I don't have time to commit to making a plan at the beginning of the week, right? Like
hmm
understood intellectually why it might be a good idea,
hmm
but like I always found a reason not to
Yeah.
plan at the beginning of the week. And in the mastery circle, that is a large portion of what we devote each Monday to. And
Yeah.
um, the difference for me has been the realization of how it keeps me going forward and at a faster clip.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because think about it. In a day's time, we have so much coming in at us. I mean, you've got your emails coming in, you've got messages coming in, and we've got how many messaging services that we use. We've got our phones dinging. I mean, there's so many things to get us off course. But if we didn't have a roadmap, not to use that, um, because I think it's overused, but I mean, it is. It's kind of like, what is the thing that I'm trying to accomplish? And you always say it best whenever we're like planning something, what's the result we're trying to achieve? I mean, what is the thing? And
Right.
it really helps get your navigation right. If I'm trying to, one of the things I'm working on is getting ahead because life keeps lifing. And I'm so glad that I do. Then how am I going to get there? And when I get distracted, it's like, okay, is this helping me with my goal? Or is this something that can wait until I've accomplished what I said I was going to accomplish?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head because if we don't take a moment to plan, and I'm going to say we're not saying like you need to devote 4 hours every Monday. I love that. No. And in fact, the more often you plan, the more consistently you plan, the faster you get at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't take as much time because you're not starting from scratch from the very beginning.
Right.
Um, but it make sure that, yep, all these things that you have on your calendar, all these to dos, and all these life things that are going to come up throughout the week, you have something to anchor you to. Like, this is what is really the most important thing.
Right.
So it it always makes it on the priority list for each
hmm
day.
Yeah, because like I said, we're pulled in a million different directions a day. Now, when we plan, so on Mondays, we do spend 2 hours together, but that's not all planning. We always reflect first because we want to learn what worked and what didn't work and what can we learn from it. Because as we're trying new things, if it didn't work, great to know. But if it did work, let's repeat that. So, a good chunk of that time, not only are we planning for the next week, but we're also looking back to see how the week went last week and what we can learn from it.
Yeah, I think that that is a key component of it because
Hmm.
it gives you like your brain the little like, oh yeah, I did do stuff last week, and some of that stuff was related to this goal that I'm going after, right? Or oh wow, like I a lot of life happened, or I got distracted, or whatever the case may be, and maybe I didn't keep that priority in
Hmm.
mind. And so that gives you that chance to reconnect
Hmm.
and move forward, for
Right.
sure.
So we
Yeah.
got this comment. Yes, it's not always easy to identify what's helpful and what's just a distraction if you don't know where you're even trying to go. Exactly. It's like you would never go on a trip and just get in the car and say, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
would be some form of a plan.
Right. Well, and I often think about our weeks and months. Often it's like you're on the river, right? Like
Hmm.
it's flowing, right? And so if you want to take, the right fork, you better have your paddle out and be ready for it to show
Sure.
up, right? So
Hmm.
the right fork is whatever goal you're working on.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
not, if you're not like consciously taking that action, maybe it's going to send you down to the left fork, right?
Right,
And
right.
you're going to end up farther away than where you intended to go. So I think that, at the beginning of our journey, right, if we use the river metaphor, before we put the boat in the water, we create this plan and we're like looking at the map and going, this is the way we're going to go. But if we don't actually have the paddle out
Right.
at the
There
moment
has
that,
to be, yeah. There
you
has
know,
to be some planning. There has to be. There
right,
has to be.
right.
Now, one of the things that we also look at is if we've planned something and it just keeps showing its head every week and we're not getting that thing done, it's time to reflect. What why aren't we, if we're saying this is something to move the needle forward, why aren't we doing this?
Mm,
And that's where our wonderful community comes in, because everybody has these moments and you never feel
right.
alone. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel that too. And this is what I've done, or this is what I've tried.
Yeah, I actually was just thinking about that the other day, is that a lot of times that recurring item that you never actually do is often because there's something like it's it's not a discipline thing, because I think that's what we go to first. It's
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
just need to buckle down and do the thing. It
Yeah. Let's
it's
white knuckle our way through our dream. That's
right.
fun.
Yeah, it's more about tweaking the to do to be more in line with who you are, where you are, what your skills are. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I think we say it quite a bit. There's a million ways to grow your business to achieve your goals. The- Um, you know, there might be some broad strokes of what you might do, but how you go about them,
Mhm.
you can fine tune that. And that, I think, is what part of the planning process uncovers, is that at the end of the week, when you're sitting down to make the plan for the next week, and this is the second week in a row that some reason life has just gotten in the way and you haven't gotten to this very
Mhm.
important task, you kind of can be, call shenanigans on yourself, or say,
Mm.
get curious more around, is there a different way I could do this that could make it easier, make it more fun? And like you said, the community is a great place to bring that, because um, why not bring different brains to the party who think
Right.
differently to give you some ideas?
Yeah, and just knowing the fact that other people are experiencing the same thing, it just for some reason makes it easier so you don't feel like you're this unicorn out there
Right.
having these problems all on your own. And it's like we all have things that we know we want to do, but because of old whatever, we're not doing them. And I mean, you hit it exactly. You find what works for you and make it your own and still get it accomplished. But I don't know, it's just always nice to have a roadmap ahead so you can't or you don't get easily distracted.
Yeah, and I think it's important to kind of say this isn't the type of planning we're talking about is not the Tetris planning that I think or the
Oh,
grocery sack planning where you're
mm,
trying to figure out how much stuff can I stuff into one
right.
day or one week.
And still carry the bag,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more about what is the most important things to move
Mhm,
my biggest goals forward. And in the mastery circle, we focus on one specific goal. Um, and like how can I pull that single thread through my week and make sure
mhm.
that I've got the time set aside, and a clear idea of what it is I'm going to do during that
Yeah.
time, so that there is no um, thinking needed on a
Mhm.
Tuesday at 10 a.m. when you
No.
know
Mhm.
the world has been falling apart around you, right? And you can just go, oh, yeah, like this is what I'm doing to move my goal forward today. I- It's,
Yeah.
it's instead of like, oh, here's the 75 things that I need to do this
Brain
week.
dumped
Yeah. And how can I fit them all into my calendar
today.
today? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so that's, I think, one of the distinctions that it's important that when we talk about planning, I think it can get into this, okay, it's all about how do I get all the things done? And
Mhm.
we're saying, okay, all the things that need to get done will get done. Trust yourself in that
Yeah.
space, right?
Yeah. For
But
sure.
how do I pull the thread of my goal, the most important thing that I need to do throughout my week?
And it's funny that you said that. So, we had a little bit of life happen to us starting Thursday, so I've been a little disconnected for a few days. And yesterday was my real first day back at work, and I had a list of priorities. And, I sat down with you and my husband and said, okay, here's what I have, what's priority. And every time that overwhelm came up, I just kept telling myself, you always get stuff done. You always get these things done. And it was funny as the day was moving on, I knew there was a couple of things I wouldn't get done. And I reached out and said, can you help? Imagine that, asking for help. And it was wonderful. I mean, it was just I got everything on my list done and asked for help. And it felt good knowing I had a plan. I knew I didn't have to think. It's not
Right.
like I had to sit here for a couple of hours to get back in motion. I knew exactly what I was going to do, and life is going to life. I mean, there's no avoiding that. It's going to life.
Well, and let's not discount the fact that you've been in this rhythm of planning
Mhm.
for weeks, right? That's, and so like it it's easier to when you've been like honing your mind to focus
Mhm.
in on just a handful of priorities, then when you are, you know, thrust into the life situation and you're like, okay, like I literally don't have time to waste. You
Yeah.
know, you can strip it down to the bare bones. You know exactly right away,
Yeah.
like
And
where to
it doesn't
focus your
even
attention.
today it doesn't even feel like, I don't have that same feeling of, oh my God, I'm so behind. I'm like, no, I mean, I got the priorities done and they were handled, so it was an easier way to ease back into the week. It's a great way to take care of myself, to know that I can push away when my attention needs to go to something else.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
we're going to invite you to commit to planning. Level up your planning if you are like us, who were probably, very committed to the make a big plan and
mhm.
then just
Yeah, I
take.
mean, because didn't I have 2025 planned out and we haven't looked at it since January?
Right. Right. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean
it was
that.
a good start, right? And then we were
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? No. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's part of the beauty of this, because you look at it every week and reassess and go, wow, I know more than I did 2 weeks ago. And guess what? You get to shift.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
because you
amazing.
are going to learn and shift. So, and that's what the planning part is sitting down and, okay, what did I get done last week? What can I what will I accomplish this week? How does that move me toward my goal? You're in the river at that moment, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like responding to what has passed and where you are right now and what's ahead of you. Like, is it going to
right.
start raining? Like, so really, leveling up your own planning, if it's something you haven't is done regularly, like, can you sit down for 10 minutes with your cup of coffee on a Monday and say, okay, what what is the most important thing I get done towards my goal um,
This week.
this week? And
Mhm.
what is that action? What is the thing that I'm going to do? And when am I going to do it?
And that's literally it.
Right?
And if you get that thing done Monday, you can sit down and say, wow, that
Check.
was a lot easier than I thought it was. Now, what's the next thing that's going to get me? You get to do this as often as you want. And if you would love to join us on Monday mornings, 8:30 Central Standard Time, we do have a power hour, and it's a co-working session, completely free. No, you don't have to plan. You can plan if you want. But I mean, we have people come in that do all sorts of things, schedule social, work on newsletters, read. What else have they done, Jenny? Anything
Well,
you can imagine.
yeah. I mean, it's like work on a course,
Mm.
write
Put a
marketing
little laundry
copy.
in.
Yep,
I mean,
exactly.
anything you want, but it's the thing that we hear the most is, wow, I got so much done and that went by so fast.
Yeah. I think the nice thing, um, you know, is right away on Monday before you step into the river, or of what the week will bring, it's easy to get distracted by those urgent things or the thing that you didn't finish on Friday or whatever,
Hmm.
but giving yourself that gift of 10, 15 minutes of getting clear. Again, not the schedule Tetris, not the to do Tetris,
Hmm.
but just get clear. Like, this is what is most important to move me forward, and this is the action I'm taking. So,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
so let's just address this real quick, because struggle with looking back and making use of the data. Me too. Never used to look back. It was like, it's done, it's over, I'm going to move forward. But I will say, the planner that we have laid out has really helped give me the structure to look back. And that's another resource that we have. I've put all of our resources in the invite to this live, but it gives you more of a structure before you move on to the next week. You close out the week before. How about you, Jenny? Did you struggle with looking back and using the data?
Yeah, I think that the looking back always was in judgment of what I didn't get accomplished, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I think the process, the framework that we advocate for is really much more holistic in, okay, like what were you able to accomplish?
Hmm.
What are the obstacles that got in your way? And then it can allow you to shift into that forward looking. I think um, it's also a way of like um, marking that I did do things. Because our brain has that recency filter that like it's only thinking about
What you
honestly what
didn't.
happened yesterday, like or the
Hmm.
day before. When I think about work, it's always like, oh, what did I finish or not finish on Friday, right? That's what I'm
Right.
coming into Monday with. And so that looking back step says, "Oh, wait a minute, there were 5 other days that, happened in that
Yeah.
week, and so what were that?"
And going back with curiosity, I mean true curiosity, and that's something you have to remind yourself. I'm not looking back to judge what I didn't get done. I'm looking back to get curious to learn what is working for me and what isn't working for me. And it is a journey. I mean, it is, we're still learning, right? I mean, we're still
Yeah,
tweaking.
I mean,
And I think it's an ever forever thing. You're just always going
because
to look back.
our brain is amazing at going, "Oh, you've leveled up. Now I will level up." And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. It's like that dad that always never says, you did enough, you could always do more.
yes,
That's our
yes,
brains.
yes, exactly. So you're always gonna be, kind of, um doing the dance with
Yes.
the brain and life and all the things. And so, yeah, this makes sure the weekly planning really makes sure that you don't lose the thread of why is this
Mhm.
your goal and what's going to move you forward. I mean,
That's
I
right.
think that's the bottom line. So,
All
join us
right.
for the Power Hour Club Mondays. Check it out. It's up above.
Yep.
Also just want to throw it out there. Our next round of Mastery Circle is going to start in September. So if you're looking for a way to be supported in up-leveling your planning and your execution and going after those big goals, we'd love to have you check it out. And so reach out to either one of us.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next week.
All
Have a
right.
fabulous week. Bye.
Bye.